Hi, everybody. Pete Van Weer and Billy Sample welcoming you to Candlestick Park, where we are just underway with this afternoon's game between the Braves and the Giants. Ron Gant led off the inning with a double. He moved to third on Ken Oberkfeld's single. Gerald Perry then popped out to second, and the count is now 0-1 on Dale Murphy. Kelly Downs on the mound. Runners first and third. Murphy the batter with an 0-1 count, and here's Billy.
Okay, thanks, Pete. Dale hitting .329 since the All-Star break. Awaits the 0-1. That's down in the dirt. The Giants defensively, Melvin behind the plate. Mitchell at third. Ernest Riles, the shortstop. Robbie Thompson at second. Will Clark at first. Donnell Nixon in left. Brett Butler in center. And Mike Aldrete in right. The 1-1. Had a good swing and a split finger and fouled it. Eighth meeting between these two clubs. The Giants holding a 6-1 lead. As you look at some of the numbers on Downs, this will be the third time he has faced the Braves this season, and he's 2-0. He had a 2-hit shutout here in Candlestick June 7th. Get out of this trouble. 2 outs for Andres Thomas.
This is his money pitch. It's a split-fingered fastball. And Murphy right over the top of it. So now Downs with a chance to get out of this mess. He had first and third, nobody out. Now it's first and third and 2 outs.
And you could certainly see that pitch dive. Of course, everyone knows Roger Craig teaching that pitch to a lot of young Giant hurlers. And Thomas takes a strike. Andres 0 for 4. As you see Roger Craig talking to some of his brain trust. Braves are 35-66, currently 24 games behind the first place Dodgers. Downs 1 pitch away of getting out of this jam. Gantz at third. He led it off with a double high off the left center field fence. 1 pitch later, Oberkfeld singled him to third, and that's where the runners are. 2 outs and an 0-2 count to the 5th batter, Andres Thomas. To the left side in the hole. Rouse to Thompson for the force, and down with some clutch pitching.
Let's run down today's batting order very quickly. For Atlanta, it'll be Gant, Oberkfeld, and Perry in the top third. Murphy, Thomas, and James in the middle. The lower third has Bruce Benedict catching, Terry Blocker in center, and Rick Mailer doing the pitching. The Giants will lead off with Brett Butler, then Robbie Thompson at second, Will Clark at first, Kevin Mitchell third, Mike Aldrete in right, Bob Melvin is the catcher, Ernest Riles at short, Donnell Nixon in left, and the starting pitcher, Kelly Downs.
This will be the 22nd start for Rick Mailer. Rick is 8-9. He's given up 191 hits in 150 innings. 26 walks. That's a good figure for Rick. 77 strikeouts. As you see there, some of the good figures highlighted. Brett Butler steps in. Brett currently hitting .417 against his former team. 10 for 24 with 6 RBIs. Count evens at 1. Robbie Thompson, the second baseman, the on-deck batter, batting in the second spot. Butler with a couple of walks yesterday, a single and an RBI. Ground ball up the middle. They sit. The Giants seem to be starting where they left off last night. They got a few runs because of Brave miscues and had a few of those CNI hits. Just seemed to get through the infield. The infield grass here at Candlestick, one of the toughest to get ground ball hits through. But it seems as though the Giants find a way of getting that hit that's just out of the reach of an infielder. As Butler's going to hit and run, Gant tries to go to second, fails to do so, but gets the out at first base. So Butler goes from first to second on the hit and run. The out goes 4-3, and Will Clark's the batter.
This is the kind of situation he loves. He leads the National League in RBIs with 77.
And if you want to pitch around him, he leads the National League in walks with 66. He'll be followed by Kevin Mitchell, the third baseman, hitting in a cleanup spot. As Rick misses with a fastball. Jerry Davis behind the plate, Mark Hirschbeck at first, Gary Darling at second, and Bruce Frimming umpiring at third. Nice block by Benedict. The Giants start the day's preceding 6 games behind the Dodgers. Houston and LA playing down at Dodger Stadium. Houston 4.5 back. The Giants 6. Cincinnati 9.5. San Diego 13. And the Braves are 24 back.
Dodgers are leading that game with Houston 1-0. They're in the bottom half of the fourth. Kirk Gibson is homered for Los Angeles.
The 2-0. Rick threw a changeup that missed.
One final score in the American League. The Red Sox did it again. They scored a run in the bottom of the 9th. They beat Milwaukee 3-2. Roger Clemens won his 15th game.
Will he have the green light? Yes, he does. Liner to right. Base hit. Being held at third is Butler. So the Giants have runners at the corners with 1 out.
Butler had to hold up to make sure the ball dropped in right field and decided not to test the strong throwing arm of Dale Murphy.
Kevin Mitchell with 14 homers and 55 RBIs. Early in the season wasn't driving in a lot of runs, but in his last 24 games has 24 RBIs as he takes low for ball 1. Pete, reading the papers out here, it just seems to me as though the Giants don't have an awful lot of respect for the Braves. It's almost as if they said, well, it's a below 500 team and we're just going to have to beat up on them and hope that Houston and LA will knock each other off for a while. As Mitchell grounds to the left side, Thomas to Gant for 1 over the first. Double play, and Rick Mailer pitches out of a early game jam. No runs, 2 hits. No Brave error, 1 left. After an inning, no score.
This telecast is authorized under broadcasting rights granted via the Atlanta National League Baseball Club and is intended solely for the entertainment of our audience. Any publication, rebroadcast, retransmission, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, or accounts of this game without the express written consent of the Atlanta National League Baseball Club is prohibited.
It'll be James, Benedict, and Blocker, 6, 7, and 8 in Russ Nixon's order, facing Kelly Downs in the second. No score from Candlestick game 2 of this 4-game set. Doubleheader tomorrow. As Dion takes a strike. Downs 10 and 8 on the year. Has given up only 106, now 108 hits in 136 innings. 1-1 the count. 96 strikeouts. As you get a look at the Brave manager. Check swing, bouncer, back to the mound. 1 out.
What you were saying before, Billy, about the Giants showing little respect for the Braves in their newspaper quotes, I think a lot of the Braves feel the same way, but I can understand where the Giants are coming from. They've beaten the Braves 6 times in 7 games this year, including a sweep in Atlanta of a 3-game series. And when you have a lot of success against a team that's down in the cellar, you do feel that way when you go out to play.
And they've beaten the Braves 22 out of the last 33 times they faced each other. Bruce Benedict, the batter. Takes low and outside for ball 1. Count evens at 1. Bruce with 15 RBIs and 135 at bats. Line drive, base hit left field.
Now that particular base hit's really going to make Bruce feel better. He was really feeling down after the last home game, even though he got a base hit in that game before we left on the road trip. He said he's had some pitches to hit that he should be able to pull, and he hasn't been able to do it. He's been hitting that ground ball to the right side or a little flare to right field, and he said when he's swinging the bat well, when he gets the pitch and the inside part of the plate, he's able to pull the ball. And that's one of the first times in several games that he's done that on that base hit.
Well, Bruce has very good bat control, and he knows the strike zone and what he can and cannot handle. So even for a guy that doesn't have tremendous bat speed, because he knows the zone so well, he can still pull that inside pitch. Terry Blocker takes a fastball outside. And that's after an 0 for 5, his first stint with the Braves in 1988. The 1-0. 2 balls to count. So we'll see whether Bobby Wine has something in store for Terry Blocker.
You see, the Giants haven't played much different against teams under 500 than they have against teams over 500. Some clubs in the pennant race, we noticed this with the New York Mets last week, really have big winning percentages against the lower half of the league.
Ground ball to second, double play grounder to Riles for 1. Not in time for the double play. Blocker getting down the baseline. Spoiled that double play attempt. Incidentally, the Giants have 95 double plays on the season. That's first. The Braves, with the one they turned last inning, have 94 for number 2 in the National League.
Very close play at first here, but Blocker did beat it.
As you see the numbers on Rick Mailer, a pretty good hitting pitcher, as are most of the Braves pitchers. Tom Glavine having the best batting average of Braves pitchers who have had more than 6 at bats. Jose Alvarez swings the bat well also. Rick fouls that one at the plate. Doubleheader tomorrow has Peter Smith and Germán Jiménez against Terry Mulholland and Don Robinson. Then the Braves play 3 at Jack Murphy Stadium in San Diego before coming home to play the Giants and the Padres. That pitch just bounced in the dirt. 1-1 the count.
It's one of the dangers of having a good split finger fastball. You're going to see a lot of pass balls, a lot of wild pitches from this Giant pitching staff, because every once in a while those things get away and they bounce out in front of the plate and get by.
Good cut, but Rick came up empty. For that 159 average, Rick has 7 hits and 44 at bats. He has a double, 3 3 runs scored and 4 RBIs. As he gets a piece of that one. No score through an inning and 2 outs for the Braves in the top of the second. The 1-2 grounded to Riles. He'll throw to Thompson for the 6-4 force, and the Braves are out of their half of the second inning. No runs, 1 hit, no giant error, and 1 left. After an inning and a half, no score. Giants batting in the third, or batting in the second, pardon me. It'll be Aldretti, Melvin, and Riles to face Rick Mahler. The Braves will conduct their second annual baseball fantasy camp January 22nd through 29th in West Palm Beach. That's where the Braves train. Hank Aaron, Luke Appling, Warren Spahn, Phil Niekro, Ralph Garr, Orlando Cepeda, and others. For more information, call 404-522-6611 as Aldretti waits for the first pitch, and he fouls it back. .286, 3 homers, 32 RBIs. Now appears to be splitting some time with Donnell Nixon, although today both are in the lineup. Maldonado having the night off, or the afternoon off. The 1-1 downstairs.
Aldretti really hasn't responded the way the Giants thought he would when they traded away Jeffrey Leonard. They thought Aldretti would be able to step in there every day, hit over 300, drive in some runs. He's sharing time again.
Ronnie Gant on 4 hops for out number 1. Well, one of the things that I had noticed is that even though he had some pretty good power numbers, he had 9 home runs last year, and I believe 51 RBIs. I'll check it in case I'm wrong. But sometimes you get selected. You get your spots picked for you by your manager. He's going to face more right-handed pitching. Probably missed the nasty left-handers. Leonard seeing most of those. So when Leonard was traded, then Aldretti gets to play against everyone. And sometimes they can pick out some spots, as Bob Melvin takes a curveball outside. Bob playing in the day game after the night game. His second consecutive start against the Braves. Right over the bag. Down the right field line. Melvin rounds first. He's going for 2, and he should have it easily. Bob Melvin with a check swing double, and the Giants have a runner in scoring position for Ernest Riles. Melvin's 8th double on the season. He has 7 homers and 20 RBIs to go along with it. He has fewer than 200 at bats. And he's also spent some time in Phoenix, so he's been fairly productive in spite of the low batting average. As Rick misses with a fastball.
Riles in there today. Jose Uribe bothered by a little flu bug. He had to leave last night's game midway through.
Riles plays second, short, and third. Came over in that Jeffrey Leonard trade, as Rick gets the curveball to fall. Melvin at second, as Rick misses with a changeup. 2 balls, 1 strike. Bill Pooch Fahey coaching at third, and former Brave, as well as former Giant and former Dodger Dusty Baker at first. And former Oakland A. Don't want to leave out any clubs. The 2-1. Minnesota leads Cleveland 4-2. That's in the 8th. The Astros have now tied the Dodgers at 2. Astros batting in the 5th. California at 10. That's in the 6th. He's leads Toronto 2-1 with the 2-2. This is Ernest's 73rd at bat. He has 21 hits. And he awaits the 2-2. Drill down the right field line, foul. Melvin goes back to second base. When the Braves get back home August 5th, they're giving away surf memorabilia books to the first 25,000 fans with a reserve seat ticket. As Mailer throws a big curveball and Riles lines it right at first base coach Dusty Baker. Rick earning his keep this inning. Hitters making him throw a lot of pitches. And he sets for another 2-2 pitch. Count runs full. Donnell Nixon on deck.
Rick was saying the other day that every time he goes out there nowadays, it almost feels like he's auditioning. His name is mentioned a lot as being perhaps one of those veteran pitchers who will move to a contender in a deal as the latter stage of the season progresses. He has a feeling he may be traded before the year is over.
The payoff pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3, foul tip into the mid of catcher Bruce Benedict. Mailer records his first strikeout.
He was throwing him a steady diet of breaking balls inside, and then he went with a fastball away for his first strikeout.
Donnell Nixon, the batter. He was 2 for 4 in last night's game. And he takes outside. The pitcher's spot is on the on-deck circle.
We work with our 3-man rotation today. Billy Sample, myself, and Skip Carey, as Ernie Johnson enjoys day 2 of his week-long vacation.
The 1-0. And Rick with the base open, trying to nibble at the corners. 2 balls to count. There's Kelly Downs. A pretty good hitting pitcher in his own right. And Rick just misses the outside part of the plate. He appeared to have wanted that pitch. Melvin at second. 2 outs, 3-0 to count to left fielder Donnell Nixon. And Rick walks him on 4 pitches. That's Mailer's first walk, his 27th on the season. Rick averaging less than 2 walks per 9 innings. Kelly Downs batting at 190. You see he has 3 RBIs. He also has a double and a triple. 8 hits and 42 at-bats comprise that 190 average. And he takes a fastball strike. No runs, 3 hits, no error is the line score for both clubs, as Rick wants a change of menu. The 1-strike pitch. Again, he catches the outside corner. Rick with the fastball, change up, and a couple of speeds of curve. He hasn't thrown that big curve yet. We'll see when and who he will save that for, as that fastball almost gets away. Rick will throw that big curve primarily to those big right-handed hitters. Melvin at second. Nixon at first. 2 outs. The 1-2. And Rick once again wanted that pitch.
Trying to nail that outside corner again with a fastball. Pretty close.
And I guess if he got that pitch, Downs would want it when he's on the mound. And the 2-2. Fastball hit to the right side. Foul as Gerald picks it up in foul territory. Mark Hirschbeck making the call. So Melvin will go back to second. And Nixon back to first. Both clubs with early inning opportunities to score runs. The Braves had runners at first and third in the first, nobody out, and failed to score. The Giants had 2 singles in their half of the first and failed to score. And Mailer will serve up another 2-2 pitch. That's a pretty tough pitch for a pitcher to lay off of. But because it missed, the runners will be in motion. The outfield playing shallow. James in left, Blocker in center, Murphy in right. So even though the runners will be running, they still may have a play on a single. Up the middle, broken bat. Ronnie Gant, crowd number 3. So the Giants once again threaten, but they leave 2 base runners, 1 via the base hit. It was a double. No Brave error, and 2 left. After 2 complete, no score from Candlestick. Curveball strike. Downs 5-2 against the Braves lifetime, a 3.71 earned run average. As the count evens at 1. Ronnie fouls the 1-1 offering.
There's been some little bit of controversy about this split finger fastball that Roger Craig teaches to all his pitchers. I know Tony La Russa does not want any of his pitchers throwing that pitch because he feels it's tough on the arms of the pitchers and that they're going to break down before the season gets through if they throw too many of them. The Giants have had some injuries on their pitching staff. Mike Lacoste, Dave Dravecky.
As Ronnie gets a piece of that 1-2 offering, and some people feel, as you take a look at Roger Craig, that it takes something off the fastball too after you've thrown the split finger for a while.
Mike Krukow also on the disabled list, so they've got 3 pitchers down right now.
And Krukow and Dravecky throwing in simulated games. Count evens at 2.
I think for the Giants to make a real run at the Dodgers, they're going to need at least 2 of those guys back. They're starting pitching a little thin right now.
This is about the time where the Giants made their run last year. The Reds having a lead as Ronnie gets a piece of that good high fastball. That's Dravecky in the middle, Russell on the left, and Don Robinson, who will pitch in the second game of tomorrow's doubleheader, on the right. So you see the Giants are about where they were when they put it into second gear last year and won the National League West. And Gant runs the count full. At Chicago, it's now 11-9.
Ripple of applause going around the ballpark because the Houston Astros just scored a couple of runs. They lead the Dodgers now 4-2 in the 5th inning.
The payoff pitch. Ronnie gets a piece of it. It was looked like a slider, a 3-2 slider. Gant with good speed. You don't often expect that pitch, but because Ronnie has tremendous power also, they're not going to give him the cripple shot too many times. We'll see what Downs has in store this time. Melvin thought it was a strike, but Jerry Davis didn't. And the Braves have a base runner with no one out in the 3rd. Ken Oberkfell takes a look at Bobby Wine flashing the signs at 3rd. With Gant at 2nd, Oberkfell singled his first time up. He's steadily raising that average. Mitchell in on the grass. Throw goes to 1st. In the stolen base category, Ron is 10 out of 13. Mitchell is not quite as far in as he was in last night's game. He was about 5 steps closer to the plate. Gant's going on the pitch. A pitch out. They've got Ronnie Clark running him down to Riles. Runs him back to 1st. To Thompson. Too many throws. Back to the pitcher. That's the 4th throw. Gant still in the middle. Now Melvin finally runs him out. And it'll take me a while to tell you how to score that one. It took him 5 throws to get Gant on this particular play.
I think everybody was involved except the 3rd baseman. The catcher's throw goes down to 1st. Gant knows he's dead. Now he gets in a rundown. Clark over to Riles, then back to Robbie Thompson. And then it's pitcher Kelly Downs. And then it's catcher Bob Melvin. Looks like a zip code on the score sheet. 2-3-6-4-1-2. And another Braves base runner.
And Russ Nixon explaining the way that he'd like that particular play carried out. 2-3-6-4-1-2 the scoring on that play.
Braves have had a lot of trouble running the bases the last week to 10 days.
Well, that goes without saying, but somehow, you know, Roger Craig and his staff picked up something. The Giants seem to be the best at putting on signs and stealing signs. Thompson has that one up the middle for out number 2.
Tell you what was unusual about that rundown play. How many times do you see a rundown play where the catcher starts the play with a pickoff throw and winds up getting the put out at the end?
Well, that's good backing up. Of course, it's a little easier for the catcher to leave the home plate spot when the runner's between 1st and 2nd as opposed to 2nd and 3rd or 3rd and home. But still, it was good backing up on all ends. The pitcher even got involved in the rundown. The league's leading hitter grounds this one up the middle, but Riles is there after Downs failed to come up with it. And in spite of getting the base runner, the Braves go up and down in order in their half of the 3rd. After 2.5, Butler, Thompson, and Clark, the top of the Giant order, to face Rick Mailer in the 3rd. At the stadium, Bob and Clara Yost from Clyde, North Carolina, big Braves fans. Clara Davis from Austell, Georgia, watching in, as is Jim Becker from Honolulu. Frankie Pokriska of Susquehanna, New Jersey, watching. Butler singled his first time. He takes a strike. 11 for 25 against his former club. And Mailer catches the inside part of the plate. Rick has thrown a lot of pitches, but he's pitched out of what could have been precarious situations. Waste a fastball there. Todd and Gene Spurrier of Kettering, Ohio, watching Braves baseball. The 1-2. Count evens at 2. The outfield has Butler straight up, as does the infield with 2 strikes. First baseman Gerald Perry moved back into a deep position. Oberkfell still up at third. Ground ball to the right side. Gant to Perry, out number 1.
Check out the batting grip, Billy, of Robbie Thompson. Do you know of any other hitter that uses a golf grip like he does on the bat? He uses an interlocking grip. I've never seen any other hitter do that. Look at that.
Ooh, I start to cringe when I look at something like that. Fastball just misses. Thompson grounded to second his first time. In fact, Mailer has gotten all his outs except the 1 strikeout on the ground. Curveball and a beauty catches the outside part of the plate. California, Chicago have a wild one going on at Comiskey. 11-10 now in the 7th inning. And Rick threw that big curveball that time, took something off his regular curveball. Was saying earlier, at what point would Rick throw it? Wouldn't be surprised to see it again. Thompson, the Giant leading hitter, but also a potential strikeout victim. This one's line, a blooping line drive to right field for a base hit. Thompson rounds first base hard, but Dale is there to keep him at first base. So the Giants have a base runner with 1 out. Bet you've never heard anyone say a blooping line drive before. One of those that as soon as it leaves the bat, everybody knows it's a hit. You didn't hit it hard, but you got jammed and was strong enough to throw it over the infielder's head. Ground ball to right side. Perry knocks it down to Mailer covering. Crowd number 2. Gerald showing some range at first base.
The ball was hit sharply. The ball does not really travel very quickly on the grass here at Candlestick. It's kept kind of high. And Perry is able to recover and get it over to Mailer. It's a little different story when it gets to the dirt portion of this infield. That's like cement. But the grass here at Candlestick is kept quite high.
You've hit many a golf ball on grass looking like that, haven't you?
I've hit many a golf ball on cement, too.
Kevin Mitchell wrapped into a double play his first time. And in spite of the fact Bruce couldn't hold on to that, that was a strike on the outside part. Pete told you about the roar that went up here. It seems as though L.A. and San Francisco just don't get along. I guess that's been since the late 50s when both clubs left New York.
Got pretty nasty here. The last time they had a series, they had over 100 arrests during the course of a doubleheader because of unruly fans throwing things onto the field, and they had to put those barriers up beyond the left field fence because so many kids were running out there and actually trying to climb the left field wall.
Rick with a big breaking curveball for strike 2.
Used to be a tradition here when a ball's hit over the left field fence, the kids would come down behind the fence and scamper for the baseball, but so many of them were down there during that Dodgers series, and some of them were actually trying to climb the regular fence. So those barriers were put in to try to control the crowd a little better. That only seems to happen, the unruly crowds, when the Dodgers play here.
Yeah, yesterday I had one of those fan give away a trip or vacation. You come to the park with your suitcase and luggage, and if they draw your name. As Mitchell started for that 0-2 curveball, it didn't appear to be that far off the plate. 1 ball, 2 strikes to count. And one of the trips, let's say they went to Boston or D.C. and a couple of people won a trip to L.A. and
they got booed.
Yeah. Pretty cute promotion, huh? You have to be ready to go when they call your name as Mitchell fouls the 1-2 offering. They've had about 11 limousines, and if your ticket was called or your name was called, you had to immediately go to the limousine, and it takes you to the airport, and
you're on your way.
You're on. I wonder if they give you any spending money. Thompson's at second. 2 outs, the 1-2. Rick tried to sneak a fastball by him. Missed low and away. 2-2 the count. Mike Aldretti, the 5th hitter, is on deck. There's the former Stanford player. Twos across the board. Full count to Kevin Mitchell. Mitchell in 2 seasons has been on a World Series winner and a divisional winner. The 5'11", 210-pound third baseman awaits the payoff pitch, and he fouls it down the right field line. The Giants currently 53-48, and they're 30-23 at home. On the other end, the Braves are 35-66, 18-32 on the road. As Mailer throws another payoff pitch, base hit, right field. Thompson should score easily as Murphy comes up with the ball and throws it into the cutoff man. And the Giants go ahead 1-0.
Kevin Mitchell's bat has been a big plus for the Giants of late. That's his 56th RBI of the season, but he now has 25 RBIs in his last 25 games. And the Giants draw first blood. It's 1-0.
Well, Roger Craig had said that he had to get the M&M boys, Mitchell and Maldonado, going, especially hitting behind Clark. Clark having a good season. And Mitchell is, as you say, really been productive. Mike Aldretti takes a fastball inside. Aldretti grounded to second his first time. As a base stealer, Mitchell 3 for 7. Count evens at 1. Well, as good as it is when they score first, that's not too bad even when the opposition scores first. The 1-1. And Rick laboring a little bit here in the third.
He's really kind of been laboring this whole game. He's been behind the count on a lot of hitters, throwing a lot of pitches.
Rick somehow manages to get away with that. He doesn't walk many, throws a lot of double play balls. The 2-1 is on his way, and Aldretti fouls it to the left side. And it's a good sign if you can have your pitcher labor, as we're characterizing Rick's performance so far, and still only be a run down or 2 runs down as Rick goes to first, but Mitchell was still on the bag after 4 or 5 or 6 innings. That allows you to get your offense in the game, and the Giants wouldn't have put the knockout punch on the Braves. Fastball inside strike, and Aldretti knew it. Mailer records his second strikeout. However, the Giants get on the board. They score 1 run, 2 hits, no errors, 1 left. After 3 complete, San Francisco 1, Atlanta nothing.
Doesn't get any easier. Kelly Downs has already beaten the Braves twice in 1988. And Dale Murphy will lead off here in the 4th.
What time did you guys get on the air?
We got on in the 1st inning, about the 3rd hitter. Yeah. Murphy struck out in that 1st inning. Ball 1 the count to Murphy.
Who won the basketball game?
The Soviet Nationals won it by 9. 132 to 123, I believe, is the final.
I guess that means the Hawks can go home.
2-1.
And thankful to be out of there.
Here's the 1-0 pitch, and Murphy laces it into left field for a base hit. That is the 4th hit given up by Kelly Downs. Braves have had base runners in every inning. And Andres Thomas will step in. He hit into a 6-4 force play in the 1st.
The big question, though, is did John, when Dominique hit a 20-footer, say bullseye in Russian? Which, as we all know, is Krugloya Akno.
I'll bet he did. Andres going through a bit of a drought right now, hitless in his last 14 at-bats. Murphy chased back. Murphy doesn't run nearly as much as he used to. He still runs well, but he's only attempted 4 stolen bases this year. He's been successful only once. Nothing and 1 the count on Andres Thomas.
The Braves would like to give Thomas and Gant a rest. They have played an awful lot of innings.
It's difficult to give a couple of guys who have been playing quite well a day off when there's nobody else picking them up in the lineup. Basically, the Braves' attack of late has been Murphy, Gant, Perry, and Thomas. 1 ball, 1 strike. We're in the top half of the 4th. 1-0 Giants lead it. We've had 9 hits in the game, 5 by the Giants, 4 by the Braves. And the 1-1. Fouled back, 1-2. Houston leading the Dodgers 4-2 that game in the 6th inning at Dodger Stadium. If the Dodgers lose and Houston wins that game, they'll only be 3.5 out. And the Giants with a win here could pull to within 5 if Houston's able to hold on. Here's the 1-2 to Thomas. Double play ball maybe. Thompson knocks it down. He gets the out at second. Riles to first in time. Even though Thompson didn't come up with the ball cleanly, the Giants still able to turn the double play.
Thompson's like a cat out there. The ball is sharply hit. For a moment, you thought it was going to get through. He stays right with it, doesn't panic, makes a perfect throw, and Riles has a good arm. Bang, bang, play at first.
So another base runner erased. Deion James, the hitter. He bounced to the pitcher his first time.
Well, it's a nice tie, Pete.
Thank you. Nothing and 1 the count.
How'd the tees go today?
Well, since we came on late, there was no tees.
Well, who does it tomorrow then?
having a production meeting right after the game to look into that situation. 1-1 the count now on Dion James.
Maybe our producer Glenn Diamond could write it, and Ernie could drive down to the station, record it.
Here's the 1-1 to Dion James. He grounds it foul off to the right, 1-2. A lot of ground balls off of Kelly Downs, and when he's on his game, that's what you'll see. 8 of the 10 outs made by the Braves have come on infield grounders. Astros have now upped their lead over the Dodgers to 6-2 in the top of the 6th inning. Right to the third baseman, Kevin Mitchell, and that's all for Atlanta in the 4th. No runs, 1 hit, nobody left. We go to the bottom half of inning 4, still 1-0 San Francisco. In the bottom half of the 4th inning, Bob Melvin, Ernest Riles, and Donnell Nixon due up against Rick Mailer. The Astros blowing open that game against the Dodgers. They now lead at 7-2. And what looked a week ago to be maybe a runaway race in the National League West appears to be tightening up again. There's Bob Melvin, who doubled on a check swing back in the 2nd inning. It's the first pitch right to Ron Gant. And on 1 pitch, 1 out in the bottom of the 4th. Now Ernest Riles, who was a strikeout victim. There you see what things look like. Houston very much in it. San Francisco very much in it. Cincinnati trying to get back in it. San Diego and Atlanta really the only 2 teams out of contention. Tell you what's beginning to bug some of the Braves players right now. I heard them talking in the clubhouse yesterday, several of the players, about not wanting to lose 100 games. Nobody wants to play on a team that has that kind of record, but the Braves are going to have to play almost 500 baseball the rest of the way to avoid it. 2 down now as Donnell Nixon will step in. Nixon walked in the 2nd. Acquired from the Seattle Mariners organization. Al Rosen does a lot of wheeling and dealing as general manager of this team. Broken bat to shallow center field. Terry Blocker's going to have to play it on the hop. Base hit for Nixon. That is hit number 6 off of Rick Mailer, and it'll bring up the pitcher Kelly Downs. If you look at this Giant lineup today, Brett Butler signed as a free agent. Robbie Thompson and Will Clark came up to the farm system, as did Mike Aldrete. Kevin Mitchell was acquired in a trade. Ernest Riles acquired in a trade. Donnell Nixon acquired in a trade. Kelly Downs traded for. Catcher Bob Melvin came over in a deal. Runner going, and Downs fouls it back. That shows you how much confidence Roger Craig has in Kelly Downs. They put a hit and run on with a pitcher batting. 2 men out. We're in the bottom of the 4th. It's 1-0 San Francisco. Now it's even on Kelly Downs. 1 ball, 1 strike. Downs a good hitting pitcher. He's 8 for 43, has a double, a triple, 3 RBIs. The runner at first, Nixon, getting his lead. He's going again. Benedict's throw down to second base won't get him. Stolen base for Nixon. And the runner is in scoring position now with 2 men out and a 2-1 count on Kelly Downs.
It's a little strange in this spot, because if you get thrown out, then you lead off with a pitcher in the next inning, but he's got such great speed. Well, I don't know. A good throw would have certainly had him. I guess Thomas missed the tag.
That's the 5th stolen base of the year for Nixon, and he hasn't played that much. field line. It is going to be a foul ball. 2-2.
Looking down that way, I always like that Giants bullpen. Boy, that's a beautiful piece of architecture, isn't it?
That's fairly new. It was about 2 years ago,
Yeah.
I guess they put that in out there to protect them from the night air. Daytime games, it's beautiful here at Candlestick. It's the nighttime where the weather becomes a little iffy at times. And the 2-2 to Kelly Downs. He got him with an off-speed pitch. Third strikeout for Rick Mahler, who pitches around another base hit. We go to the 5th inning, still 1-0 San Francisco. In the top half of the 5th inning, lower third of the order for the Braves, Bruce Benedict, Terry Blocker, and Rick Mahler against Kelly Downs, who's kept the Braves off the scoreboard despite allowing 4 hits and walking 1 man. Benedict had one of the 4 hits, a single back in the 2nd. Straight away center field, Brett Butler. Back about 3 steps, and there's the first out in the 5th inning. Now the center fielder, Terry Blocker, who hit into a 4-6 force play back in the 2nd. I don't know if Blocker's ever hit in the number 8 spot in the order in his career before. He's basically a leadoff type hitter, but Russ Nixon told him when he came up here he's going to start him out in the number 8 spot in the order. Not to worry about his offense, just do the best he can. He wants him basically for his defense in center field, and if he handles the bat as well as he has in the minor leagues at times, he'll move up to the upper part of the batting order later on this year.
That might be a perfect way to go about it with this guy. Let him relax a little bit and find out that he can hit up.
It's not an easy spot to hit in the number 8 spot. Nothing and 1 the count on Blocker. He went, says Bruce Fremming. So the count 0-2. Braves acquired Blocker from the New York Mets. He had been kind of stuck at the AAA level in the Mets organization. They, of course, have Mookie Wilson and Lenny Dykstra. And the 0-2 is up high, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Kelly Downs seeking his 11th win of the year. Trying to beat the Braves for the 3rd time. 2-2 the count now on Blocker. He's only won 26 games in his major league career. 5 of them have been against Atlanta. The 2-2 is punched foul off to the left. It stays 2-2. Terry Blocker attended Tennessee State. Stays alive with a 2-2 count. Braves trailing 1-0. We're in the top half of the 5th inning. That Houston Dodger game is now 9-2 Astros. Still in the top of the 6th. Still 2-2 on Blocker. Braves now 31 games under 500. Trying to snap a 3-game losing streak here this afternoon. again the 2-2. Down that left field line, Nixon on the run in foul territory. Oh, what a catch he made. Did he hang on to it? And is he all right? Third base up, Bruce Fleming is going out toward Donnell Nixon. He caught the ball and hung on, but he's hurt out there. Fleming had to run almost all the way out there to see if Nixon did hang on to the ball, which indeed he did, but he hit that wall very hard after making the catch.
Boy, he really takes a lick. How in the world did he hang on to this ball? He knows he's getting close, but he catches the ball and then bang it. If anything's hurt, it might be his left arm. You can see the wince, but he's okay. He's walking it off. And boy, a manager and a pitcher appreciate that kind of play.
He'll stay in there, Donnell Nixon, and he gets the ovation now from the huge crowd here at Candlestick.
And Pete, as Rick Mailer steps in, he wanted us to wish a happy birthday to Mickey Mailer, his brother and former Braves pitcher. Works for John Martin Cadillac out in Salt Lake City. You folks stop by and say hi to him.
Here's another look at that catch by Nixon. He had two opportunities to drop the ball. First, when he hits the wall as hard as he does. And then that wall throws him to the ground. And watch the glove hit the mound when he comes down. He still hung on to it. Rick Mailer hit into a 6-4 force play his first time. Into right field, on the run, Aldretti, and he cannot hold on to it. Rick Mailer at first base. He didn't run right away when he hit the ball. He was only about halfway from home plate to first when that ball was dropped.
I guess he thought it was going to be A, caught, and B, foul, and it wasn't either.
I guess he just had no idea where that ball was. You could see him looking around. He could have been at second base had he picked it up right away. It'll be an error charged to the right fielder, Mike Aldretti. And Mailer's at first with 2 outs for Ron Gant, who doubled in the first inning, walked in the third, and then was picked off. A ball and no strikes. The count on Ron Gant. 1-0 Giants lead it. Braves have had at least one base runner in each inning. That evens the count at 1-1.
You know, if they're going to have a negative statistic like errors, they ought to have a positive statistic like great plays. So if you make 30 errors but 60 great plays, you're pretty well ahead of the game, right?
Sort of like a plus and minus system.
Yeah. We'll get Hal Galima working on that. He can research this entire year and see where we stand in that department.
I don't think I want to know. 1 ball, 1 strike, the count on Ron Gant. Split finger makes it 1-2. What's been so frustrating to Russ Nixon over the past couple of weeks is the Braves, despite their record, are playing better. They're making some base running mistakes, but they've been blown out of very few ball games. They're in every game, and there's some little thing that seems to happen in just about every game that costs the Braves a run or two. They'll have to throw him out at first, and they do. It's a strikeout, and the inning's over, and the Braves strand yet another base runner. We go to the bottom half of the 5th inning, still 1-0 Giants. It'll be Butler, then Robbie Thompson, then Will Clark. The bunt rolls foul. The count even. 1 ball, 1 strike. Rick Mailer seeking his first win in over a month. His last victory came way back on June 22nd against the Dodgers. In his last outing against Cincinnati, he worked 8 innings, allowed only 1 run. The Braves won the game, but it was an extra innings. And the bullpen got credit for that win. Two and one now, the count on Brett Butler. Down the right field line, Murphy on the run, and he makes a nice running catch down in the right field corner. So Butler robbed of an extra base hit, 1 away in the bottom of the 5th.
If he doesn't get to this ball, it's a triple. An outstanding play by Murphy. Had to fully extend to haul it in.
That'll bring up Robbie Thompson, who has grounded out to second and singled. Curve for a strike, 0-1. Tomorrow's doubleheader will have Pete Smith and Herman Jimenez pitching for Atlanta. Terry Mulholland and Don Robinson will go for the Giants. And the Braves head for San Diego for a 3-game series. Atlanta back home next weekend. These Giants will be at the stadium in Atlanta. Here's the 1-1 to Thompson. Hit to right center. Murphy had him played there. And there are 2 down now in the bottom of the 5th. That'll bring up Will Clark, who singled in the 1st inning and grounded out the 1st in the 3rd. Clark, just 24 years old, coming off a season last year where he hit .308 with 35 homers, 91 RBIs. He'll surpass that RBI total this year. Has a chance to hit as many home runs. He has a chance to be a great player. One ball, 1 strike to count on Will Clark. Two and 1. Clark, one of the few who's hit an upper deck home run here at Candlestick Park. And that is caught by the first baseman, Gerald Perry, and it gives Rick Mailer his first 1-2-3 inning of the afternoon. So nothing doing for the Giants in the 5th. We go to inning number 6. Still 1-0 San Francisco. Kelly Downs, who leads at 1-0. Oberkfell is singled and grounded out to second. Ball 1 the count to Oberkfell. Ernie Johnson enjoying this week off, taking his vacation. We hope he's enjoying it. Into right center field. This has got a chance, but Aldrete is going to run it down. He had Oberkfell played over there. And there's out number 1 in the top of the 6th.
When are you taking your vacation?
Mine is in September. When are you taking yours?
August. I miss Cincinnati and Pittsburgh.
Mine will be the next trip out here in September. Gerald Perry, the hitter, he has popped to second and grounded out to short.
But what will I tell him at lefties?
Anything you want. The 1-0 pitch is outside, 2-0. Gerald now 324. Not a lot of high batting averages in the National League this year. And there's a base hit to right for Perry. And another Atlanta base runner. Coming into today's games, only 8 National League hitters with enough at-bats to qualify, hitting over 300, and some of them just barely. Gerald Perry was 326, Andre Dawson 319, Galarraga 318, And then Palmeiro 307, McGee 306, Sachs 305, Gwynn 303, Gibson 302, and that's it for 300 hitters in the National League.
Watch out for Wynn before it's over.
Yeah. Murphy is struck out and single. The Braves now with 5 hits off of Kelly Downs. Perry chased back. Gerald with 24 stolen bases and 33 tries this year.
Did a pregame radio show with Dale. Among other things, he said people who blame Bob Horner for his problems are absolutely wacko. It's not who hits in front of him or behind him. He says, if I go good, it's because of me. If I go bad, it's because of me.
0-1 the count at Murphy. There was an awful lot made of that when Bob Horner first left the Braves, how it would affect Dale Murphy. And he was even saying that last year to people that asked him about that. He got so tired of answering that question. The 0-1 on the way. Didn't get the split finger fastball. 0-2 the count on Murphy. Perry, the runner at first. The Braves continue to put at least one man on base in each inning off of Kelly Downs, but he's kept them all stranded out there. Still 0-2 on Murphy. Andres Thomas waiting to hit next. One man out. Perry gets his lead. Now Murphy steps out.
I guess the Hawks take that Pan Am flight to Frankfurt and then Delta nonstop from Frankfurt to Atlanta. Get in about, I'm guessing, around 5 o'clock tomorrow afternoon.
Long trip back.
Ooh. It's even longer going the other way, believe me.
Again, Perry chased back.
How are our government relations with Spain? Do you happen to know?
They're fine as far as I know. That's right. You're heading over there in October, aren't you?
Me and Smitty and Croker.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Well, they're good now. At the conclusion of that trip, we'll recheck.
You all at the embassy start packing.
1-2 the count on Murphy.
I think I'll practice being a picador while I'm over there.
Here's the check of the runner by Downs. And the 1-2 to Murphy. Just missed. 2-2.
You ever seen a bullfight?
No, I never have.
I don't think I want to do that. We deal in enough bull in our everyday jobs.
Again, Perry chased back.
What else do you do in Spain besides go to bullfights?
Learn to speak a little Spanish, I guess.
El libro es rojo.
The 2-2 with the runner going is inside. Melvin's throw on the money. Got him. Perfect throw by Bob Melvin. Gerald Perry caught stealing for the 10th time this year.
Melvin's got a terrific arm, and he really unloads there. Took him a little while to get rid of it. I think he was safe, but no argument.
So another base runner disappears. The count full now, 3-2 on Murphy. And Kelly Downs issues his second walk. Downs has walked 2. He's given up 5 hits. Giants have made 1 error. We're only in the 6th inning, and the Braves still haven't scored. Andres Thomas, the hitter, he's 0 for 2. And 0 for his last 15. Didn't get the breaking ball. 0-1. Andres Thomas hitting in the number 5 spot the last 3 weeks or so. That's not where they're projecting him long range. But the Braves don't have a whole lot of power on this ball club. So Russ Nixon, trying to take advantage of the guys who are going good, has Thomas in the number 5 position. 0-2 the count. In fact, Russ will tell you he has a lot of hitters in the lineup who are not hitting where he'd like to have them. He'd like to have Gerald Perry, for example, hitting in the number 2 spot.
And Ronnie Gant probably lower in the order.
Here's the 0-2. That misses. 1-2. But you have to play with the cards you're dealt. The 1-2 pitch on the way. Got him. That takes care of the Braves in the 6th. 3rd strikeout for Kelly Downs. Another base runner left by the Braves. We go to the bottom half of the 6th inning. Still 1-0 Giants. In the bottom half of the 6th inning, it'll be Kevin Mitchell, Mike Aldrete, and Bob Melvin up against Rick Mailer. 1 run, 6 hits for the Giants. No runs, 5 hits for the Braves. Giants trying to beat Atlanta for the 7th time in 8 meetings. And the man that drove in the only run of the game, Kevin Mitchell, will lead off here in the 6th. He had an RBI single in the 3rd after hitting into a 6-4-3 double play in the 1st inning. That Houston Dodger game now goes to the 7th inning with Houston on top 9-4. One ball, no strikes on Kevin Mitchell. Breaking ball misses. It's 2-0. That caught the outside corner. 2 balls and a strike on Kevin Mitchell. It's even now, 2-2. Mailer wondering if when the Braves come back out here in September, he'll be a part of this team. He keeps hearing the rumors that he might be moved to a contender down the stretch. Teams starting to make those kind of moves now. The Red Sox picked up Mike Boddicker yesterday from Baltimore. The curveball strikes out Mitchell. And that's 4 strikeouts now for Rick Mailer.
Well, Pete, we may be, as you look at this again, we may be on the way to a record. Mailer pulls the string on it. The longest 1-0 game in 9-inning game in baseball history is 2 hours 46 minutes. We got a shot.
We sure do. Aldretti 0 for 2. He's grounded out to second and struck out. This game almost 2 hours old. We're in the bottom of the 6th. It's not been the typical 1-0 game. Both teams have had numerous opportunities to score some runs. A lot of base runners for both sides. Right to the second baseman, Ron Gant. And that's out number 2. 6 in a row set down now by Rick Mahler.
I wonder what's the record for the longest by time 14-11 game, because that's what the Angels and White Sox have going.
And they now have a rain delay in the 8th inning.
Ooh.
In Chicago. Here's Bob Melvin, who has doubled and grounded out to second. He started the year with the Giants, then was sent down to AAA. Kurt Manwaring was called up, and then they changed places again about 3 or 4 weeks ago. 0-1 on Bob Melvin.
Did we talk about the line Ray Ratto had in the paper out here yesterday about Joe Price?
I don't believe we did.
It wasn't. It sounds vicious when you say it, but it wasn't meant that way. As part of an interview.
Toward the right field line, Perry going back, Murphy coming over, and neither can get to it.
Part of an interview with Joe Price, who had a bad road trip when the Giants went to play some Eastern Division teams last week. And Price was being very honest and said, boy, I just had a terrible time. Everything I threw, they hit. And Ratto's line was, he looked like a batting tee with a hat on it.
Mahler ahead in the count, 0-2. The Astros are at it again. They've upped their lead over the Dodgers now to 12-4. That game in the 7th inning. That takes care of Bob Melvin, and that takes care of the Giants in the 6th. 5 strikeouts for Rick Mahler, who has retired the last 7 he's faced. We go to the 7th inning. It's still 1-0 Giants.
Laid it off. Joe Baber, who pitched a perfect inning last night, is in the Atlanta bullpen. James, Benedict, and Blanker are due here. Mahler would be the 4th man to bat in the inning, so if anyone gets on, Russ would probably go to his bench. It's getting late. James is tapped to the mound and lined to third. They play him around toward left field. Strike over the outside corner at the knees. It's 0-1. After the game, we'll have World Championship Wrestling for you tonight. Wonder who's wrestling in tonight's card. We'll try to find out for you. And at 8:05 Eastern Time, Objective Burma, 1945 war drama. Errol Flynn, William Prince, and George Tobias star. Popped out of play. Hi, Billy.
Hi, Skip. As we were apart, I heard that you were a football star at Missouri. I didn't realize you played football. Did you play football?
Not at Missouri. I played in high school and got hurt.
I heard you were a great player.
Who told you that? What derelict have you been talking to? The 1-2 pitch. Got him with a breaking ball, or the fork ball, one away.
Well, let's watch this one dive. And it bottoms out. You see Dion right on it. Swings over top of it.
Between innings, Pete and I were talking. I wonder if guys like Charlie Puleo, Rick Mahler, who don't have overpowering stuff, really know how to pitch. Wonder if they've tried to learn that pitch, because it's not that their careers are over, but boy, that extra pitch would really help them.
I think you still have to have a pretty good fastball to throw it, because the difference is the arm motion, or the change of speeds between the fastball. And of course, Suter is probably the best example. And when Bruce, before he got hurt, still had enough on his fastball that he could make a split finger a little more effective. I think of Jack Morris in the American League, who throws that pitch. He has a good fastball. Downs has a good fastball. Garrelts on his club has a good, outstanding fastball. He can still throw the split finger.
I'm thinking of Mike Lacoste. That absolutely saved his career. He was back in the AAA roller coaster between being the 10th guy on the major league staff and back down to the minor leagues. And now he's a big contributor when he's healthy for this Giant team.
Of course, Mike Scott, another guy that has a real good fastball, and it saved his career also.
Yankees beat Toronto 3-1 the final. But there are a lot of close shaves in that movie Operation Burma that's going to be on later tonight. Popped him up. Short left. Riles out. Nixon in. 2 down. It's getting late. Here's Terry Blanchard.
And you just don't get the feeling that the Braves are going to mount a good offensive charge after the first inning where...
That's right, boy. Negative vibes after that. First and third, nobody out. Perry, Murphy, Thomas coming up. No score. Well, we'll be out of here in plenty of time to savor the fine restaurants here in San Francisco. Blocker fouls it away, 0-1.
And look how shallow Mitchell is at third base. I'm just amazed this series. I haven't seen a third baseman. Now he gets instructions from the Giant dugout. He moves back a step or two.
Nothing much scares him, boy. He's a tough cookie.
With a body like that, no reason to be afraid of anything.
Brett Butler is really shallowed up in center field and way over in the left center field alley. They don't figure Blanchard can pull downs at all. If he hits one into the corner, he's going to triple. And I still want to know how they get the grass to look like that here.
They paint it.
Do they really?
No, I don't know for sure.
Maybe they have lawnmowers that bump into one another and somehow that... A ball and 2 strikes. Boy, he had a good cut there. Fouled it back. Still 1-2.
It is pretty grass. It's thick. Pete and I were talking about just how thick the grass is here, and it helps their ground ball pitchers, especially a guy like Russell. Last night you saw a lot of chops, and you really got to hit the ball hard to get it, especially if you hit a low line drive through the grass in the infield.
The 1-2. Got it. That's the fork ball, and the inning is over. Downs appears to be getting stronger as he goes along. 5 strikeouts, a 1-2-3 inning. Bottom of the 7th. Giants 1, Braves.
For that clean, crisp taste, this Bud's for you.
We go to the bottom half of the 7th inning. Ernest Riles will lead it off. He's 0 for 2. Riles out of Bainbridge, Georgia, resides now in Wiggum and gets thrown out, 1 away. Donnell Nixon, the batter, out of Evergreen, North Carolina. Nixon made a sensational defensive play, bashing into the wall to catch a line drive foul ball. And the fans appreciate that effort. Give him a good hand. He's probably happy about it now because it was a super play, but when he wakes up tomorrow, he may not be too thrilled when he has to crawl out of bed.
In spite of all his speed, he's a pretty well-built man. He's got a little bit to him as Mailer quick pitches that strike.
0-1. Glenn Diamond, our chief writer and rotation planner today. Tom Smith, our director. Our technical director, Mike Ireland. Al Galima, Fern Hoppenstand in charge of graphics. And our associate director, the choir boy, Richard Crooker.
Rick has really been on his game. He pitched out of trouble a couple of times, but he's had 11 ground ball outs.
Curve outside, a ball and 2 strikes.
And 5 strikeouts, so he's been effective.
The 1-2 pitch. Just missed outside, 2-2.
And Rick's starting to show a lot more different looks to the batter. That one was a little 3/4, almost a slurve, trying to catch the right-handed hitters bailing a little bit.
Fly ball, right field, no problem. Murphy had a little trouble with the sun, but he held on. 2 down. Braves have scored just 3 runs in Mailer's last 3 starts. Kelly Downs has bounced to second, struck out. The pitch, strike right over there.
Boy, they have a wild one going in Chicago. 14-11. Angels leading.
And it's raining. Benedict battles the high sky. Hitting over. Mailer breezes through the 7th. We go to the 8th. He's pitched well, deserves a better fate, but right now he trails 1-0.
Houston should pull within 3.5. Leading 12-4 at L.A., Pittsburgh and New York, Chicago at Philadelphia, St. Louis at Montreal, Cincinnati at San Diego have yet to start. In the American League, Boston has done it again, winning this time 3-2. Cleveland lost to Minnesota 4-2. The Yankees trying to gain ground on Detroit, winning 3-1. 14-11, a rain delay in the 8th. California over Chicago, Texas at Detroit, and Kansas City at Baltimore. Oakland at Seattle have yet to start.
And the towel has been thrown in by Tommy Lasorda up in Los Angeles. Danny Heap, the left-handed pinch hitter, first baseman, outfielder, on the pitch in the 8th inning for the Dodgers. Ted Simmons will bat for Rick Mailer here as we go to the 8th inning. Paul Ossenmacher now up in the Atlanta bullpen. Boy, Mailer pitched a whale of a ball game. He went 7 innings, 6 hits, 5 strikeouts, a walk, 1 run. But Kelly Downs has been a little bit better. At least he leads 1-0. You see the numbers on Simmons. Fastball high and away, 1 ball, no strikes. There's Mailer, a job well done. But unless the Braves score in this inning, he can't win it. He surely can lose it. Strike to Simmons.
Simmons as a pinch hitter, 3 for 22 with an RBI. His last time as a pinch hitter, he delivered a single to left.
We'll be on with a doubleheader at 3 o'clock Eastern time tomorrow. 2-1 to Simmons. Simmons, Gant, and Oberkfell here in the Atlanta 8th inning. Had the fastball by him. Ted fouled it off. It's 2-2. 18 major league seasons for Simmons out of Highland Park, Michigan. He is an outstanding baseball man. I think he's got a great post-playing career future in this game, either as a manager or a front office guy. He's an extremely bright and articulate person.
Could be a farm director. I think Simmons, and of course Don Baylor's another current player that has been named for a future job in baseball because they are outstanding baseball minds.
A little pop. That should be easy. Mitchell in fair territory. 1 up. That's 6 in a row set down by Downs. Here's Ron Gant. He's doubled, walked, and struck out. In the first inning, Gant started it with a double. Oberkfell single to center, Gant stopping at third. The Braves appeared to be in business with Perry, Murphy, and Thomas coming up, but Gerald popped to second. Dale struck out, and Thomas bounced into a force play. And really, that's been the biggest threat of the day for Atlanta. Braves have left 5 runners. Left only 2 last night. Gant angry with himself. He had a pretty good pitch to hit there.
tell you, with the Braves playing so poorly against their intra-divisional rivals, they could really fall far off the pace because each loss is a difference of 2 games. And they really haven't matched up well against the West. I've said it too many times, but it's been too obvious.
Downstairs.
And I think one of the problems is that if you have weaknesses, the more you see those weaknesses, the easier it is to exploit them.
The 1-1. 2 balls and a strike. You look at our ball club and you get on the bus or get on the charter after the way this year has gone, and you just wonder how many of the faces you see will be faces you'll see in West Palm Beach in February and March. The 2-1. Gant not so sure about that one, but Jerry Davis said it caught the inside corner. It's 2-2. He fought it off into the Atlanta dugout. Still 2-2.
Well, I guess when you consider how many people will come back, the Braves committed to building within their minor league system, you've got to hope that you get good scouting, good drafting, and a little luck, because if you don't have anything to trade to improve yourself, then you can't make a trade. And essentially, you'll still have some of the same fat that you had the previous season.
Well, the Braves' philosophy is to develop all the young pitchers they can. This is very similar to the Mets' philosophy. Get as many good young arms as you can, and then deal some of them for everyday players. The 3-2 fouled away. Still 3 balls, 2 strikes. It's 1-0 Giants, 8th inning. Billy Sample, Skip Carey with you from Candlestick.
That's the second time Downs has had Gant on a 3-2 count and threw him a breaking ball. Even with Gant's speed, I think they respect his power even more not to throw him that cripple pitch or that 3-2 fastball.
Downstairs, Gant is aboard. He looked back as if to say, you're not going to call me out on that, are you? And Jerry Davis didn't. And that is the 3rd walk for Downs, and that's the tying run aboard with 1 out. And a guy who handles the bat well, Ken Oberkfell, comes to the plate. Paul Ausenmacher makes his way in from the Atlanta bullpen to the dugout.
As Oberkfell looks at the signs, the last time Gant was on base, they pitched out and caught him in that rundown. At some point, you get the feeling that the Giants, and I said it earlier, one of the best at picking up the opposing team's signs.
Gant 10 out of 13 in the stolen base department. Activity in the bullpen. Down goes Oberkfell. That got him right off the ankle. Let me correct myself. Gant is 10 out of 14. He got caught in that wild rundown play earlier. Craig Lefferts is the left-hander. Scott Garrelt's the right-hander in the Giant bullpen. That one really hurt. Oberkfell still a little gimpy as he walks back into the batter's box.
Oh, you'll have a nice knot on your ankles. Oh, this went off the foot.
Right off the instep. That hurts up here.
That'll take 1 extra aspirin tomorrow.
Throw to first, runner back. Well, Danny Heap's not having much luck. Houston got 2 in the 8th. They lead 14-4. And they are right back in the race. Funny thing, the Dodgers get Guerrero back for the series. Glenn Davis misses the series, so Houston wins the first 2. Butler, 2 up. So it's all up to Gerald Perry here in the 8th inning.
And the Dodgers last year, who couldn't win on the road, have a tremendous road record. However, they're only 500 or a game over 500 at home. .3 runs a game is not going to win many.
Gant edges away. That got him off the foot. What's going on down there? 0-1 the count.
Something is really sinking and biting into your bat.
Going to have to reinforce the tongues on those shoes the way things are going. Just missed. A ball and a strike to Gerald. Perry has popped out, bounced out, and singled. And he still leads the league in hitting.
And you get the feeling Tony Gwynn's closing in.
Yep, here he comes. Forkball again. Tried to stop, could not. It's 1-2.
In the last 3 innings, Downs has really gone to that split finger.
I just call it a forkball because it's easier to say than split-fingered fastball.
It's only a difference of a half inch or 2 as you spread your fingers.
Well, maybe we should call it a serving forkball.
Yeah. You're quick.
Mm-hmm. Hawks lost today to the CCCPs, 132-123. Two and two. Tell you what, Melvin has done a good job. He's been like a mole back there digging around for some of those forkballs, split-fingered fastballs, whichever you prefer. Double dip tomorrow. It'll start at 3 o'clock Eastern time. Then on to San Diego. No TV Monday, but 10 o'clock Eastern time, Tuesday and Wednesday. They're an all-night flight. What they laughingly call an off day Thursday. Then the Giants are in and will televise at 7:35 Friday and Saturday, 2:05 Sunday, and 7:35 on Monday. The 2-2 runner going. Bounce over the pitcher's head. Thompson, tough play. Close. Got it. Good play. Inning over. That guy can play some second base. No hits, no runs, no errors. One left. Bottom half of the 8th inning. 1-0 Giants.
Parties with only Bud Light. He knows everything else is just a light.
Have a cold Bud Light to the Bud Light slide. Maybe we should just leave it here.
Can't leave the car here.
We're gonna miss our plane.
As an aircraft mechanic for Delta, Bob Swift doesn't meet passengers every day.
Folks need some help?
Sure do. It's not exactly a jet engine, but you think you can fix it?
Yeah. What time is your flight?
6 o'clock.
You think we'll make it?
Oh, you'll make it. Go ahead and try it.
That's fantastic. Thank you very much. Bob, what have you been doing?
Oh, a little road work.
How does the Players Club card work? Like magic. In Las Vegas, Atlantic City, the Caribbean, Reno, Lake Tahoe, even on cruise ships. Just show your Players Club card and save on rooms. Show the card and save on shows. And save on food. And how about 2 free room nights in Las Vegas or Atlantic City when you use our Super Saver airfare for the most exciting times of your life called Players Club. Now.
Errol Flynn and his men must fight their way through tortuous jungles and unforgiving swamps to reach Objective Burma. 8:05 Eastern on Superstation TBS tonight.
As you can see, Ted Simmons has checked in to play first base for the Braves. He stays in the ballgame, hitting in the 9th spot. And Paul Ossenmacher is on to do the pitching. And he will hit his spot in the batting order, more precisely, will be third, taking Gerald Perry's place. Brett Butler is 1 for 3, leads it off. The scoring in the game came in the 3rd inning. After Butler bounced out, Robbie Thompson singled. Jack Clark bounced to Perry, who booted the ball for just a moment, allowing the runner to go to second, then got the out at first. Then Kevin Mitchell singled to right, and that's been it. A strike to Butler, and 1 for 3.
Paul leads the National League in appearances. This is number 51.
And he's done a good job for the Atlanta team. A ball and a strike to Butler. He has over 250 major league stolen bases. Curve, a beauty, 1-2. And with the Braves' crying need for speed and for a leadoff man, it just makes you sick to see him play for somebody else. Base hit, Butler.
And doing so well against his former team, I might add. With 2 strikes, Butler cuts down his swing, which isn't a big one anyway. Goes up the middle. You see Paul try to kick save it.
Here's Robbie Thompson. They can do a lot of things now. Butler has 24 stolen bases. Thompson a good hit and run man. They could bunt. And that's what they do. Back to the mound. Ossenmacher to first. Simmons covered. 1 out. So an insurance run is at second with 1 out, and there's danger here. Will Clark. Joe Baver up again in the Atlanta bullpen. In the Atlanta 9th, Murphy, Thomas, and James do against Kelly Downs. Outside, 1 ball, no strikes.
Clark has 84 strikeouts, so potentially Ossenmacher could get out of this inning, but we've seen Clark go so well to the opposite field, so he might stay on that curveball a little longer than most left-handed hitters.
He also has 77 RBIs and leads the league in that department. 2-0 the count. Kevin Mitchell on deck. Boy, he doesn't get cheated up there. 2 balls and a strike.
Yeah, he gets good extension on his swing.
I love the way he keeps his weight back. His front foot is barely touching the ground when the pitch is delivered. Watch him ease back. Across the corner, 2-2. Clark can't believe it, and I don't blame him. Here's a look at his swing. See how he transfers the weight? That's how he generates all that power. Base hit if it's fair. It is, and a run is in, and it's 2-0. And Clark is at second, and he's got 78 RBI. He didn't hit it that hard, but he hit it in a perfect spot. As Billy said, he can go to the opposite field, and that's what he did.
I believe he gets jammed a little bit on this one. He hit it on the meat part of the bat. But he waited so long, as Skip said, he keeps his weight back. Of course, he has a real nice swing. Plus, he has such good bat speed. He really whips the bat through the strike zone. And when you can do that, you can afford to wait back a little longer, as he did. And he delivered the Giants' second run, as Kevin Mitchell will be intentionally passed.
Mike Aldrete is scheduled. They have Candy Maldonado not playing today. They could pinch hit and go for the big inning. But we'll let Roger Craig manage his team.
Well, if Maldonado comes out, then Russ Nixon will go to the pen for Joe Baver.
Somebody's coming out, but it's not Maldonado. It looks like Joe Youngblood. That's who it is. Baver is in the bullpen. Youngblood has not yet been announced. Now he is, and here comes Nixon, and that will be all for Paul Assenmacher. Had a rough outing today. That hasn't happened often to him. He went a third of an inning, 2 hits, a walk. It was intentional. 1 run to this point, and the runners on base are his responsibility. Well, he hasn't gone to the bullpen yet, but now he will. I'm Sorry is the song that they're playing here in San Francisco as Baver comes in and Assenmacher goes out. We'll be back right after this.
This relief break is brought to you by Pepto-Bismol, because the pitcher isn't the only one at this ball game who needs some relief.
Were you surprised?
Surprised to turn 40?
I meant the party. The pizza.
The heartburn.
Mm-hmm. You know what they say about anchovies at your age.
Anchovies don't get to be my age. Do we have any Pepto?
Mm-hmm.
Here comes the soothing relief of Pepto-Bismol. The one that coats is the only one you need.
Feeling better?
Like a kid again.
Do you feel lonely tonight?
Looking to meet new friends to talk with?
Call 1-900-909-2222 and listen.
As the man or woman that you desire, introduce and describe themselves.
Hi, I'm Lisa. I'm
6'1", dark hair, blue eyes.
With selective introductions, you make the choice, or leave your own introduction and receive calls from those interested in you.
Need a new friend. You make the choice.
Call 1-900-909-2222. $2 for the first minute, 35 cents for the additional minute.
Joe Baver, there are his numbers at Richmond. And he worked a 1-2-3 inning last night. Tonight he comes in a mess. It's already 2-0. Youngblood is hitting for Aldrete. Youngblood has been around a long time. Much of it as a part-time player, but he's a good hitter. He came up first for the Reds way back in 1976. He's been in pro ball since 1970. He's been with the Reds, the Cardinals, the Mets, the Expos, and the Giants. A career .267 hitter. It's already 2-0 in the 8th. Kelly Downs has been magnificent, so anymore, and it's dire straits time for the Braves. The straits are dire enough as it is. We're 31 under 500. There's the forkball. It's 1-1. Or palm ball. Dodgers bat in the ninth, trailing Houston 14-6. He threw the palm ball again low. 2 balls and a strike. Baber has had the kind of year that in AAA ball that forces you to take a long look at him as you look to the future. Just missed low, 3-1.
Well, certainly there were a couple of people laboring in AAA that deserved another shot at the big leagues. Baber one, Lonnie Smith another.
Three balls, 1 strike. Right through there, full count, 3-2. Will he send them? There's 1 out in the inning.
If I were guessing along, I would doubt it. In this particular situation, Clark doesn't have great speed at second.
They're running. Fly ball, strike center. Blocker is there. They try to decoy the runners. That doesn't work. 2 down. And Bob Melvin is the batter. So Baber gets the first one, has 1 more to get. It's over in Los Angeles. 14-6 is the final. 16 hits for Houston, 11 hits for the Dodgers. Gibson and Trevino had homer. Danny Darwin wins it. Fernando loses it. That is a final. Check swing foul, 0-1.
Talking about Baber and Lonnie Smith deserving a shot back in the big leagues, I think it would have to be extremely tough for former major league leaguers, especially Smith, who had been in the big leagues for a while, to go down to AAA and to stay in each game mentally in order to put up some of the numbers that he put up.
Did you give any thought to that a couple years back?
No.
That the reason? Just after all those years in the bigs?
Hit 285 my last year as a lifetime 272 hitter. If they didn't want me to play in the big leagues, I certainly didn't deserve a minor league demotion.
Pop foul back and out of play. World Championship Wrestling follows the game. We never did find out who's on the card today, so stay tuned. You'll be able to find out. Then Operation Burma, starring Errol Flynn. That is not Errol Flynn. Might have been one of the wrestlers. Ground ball to third, and the inning comes to a close. Baber does his job for the second successive day, but a big insurance run for the Giants on 2 hits. They leave 2. Last chance for the Braves as we go to the ninth. Giants 2, Braves nothing.
Roaches, public enemy number 1. They come out at night carrying germs and disease and leave filthy droppings behind them. They scurry all over your kitchen and crawl over food. How do you get rid of them? You've tried smelly spray insecticides, but look, roaches can smell too, so they avoid the sprayed areas and keep coming back. Now there's a solution to roach problems. Roach Kill, the amazing odorless powder with a double your money back guarantee. Write down this toll-free number to order. In scientific tests, the active ingredient in Roach Kill proved 99.5% effective after 1 use, far superior to spray insecticides. Roach Kill kills and controls roaches better than any aerosol insecticide. Roach Kill is easy to use. Just squeeze the powder from the Roach Kill bottle behind appliances. Roaches can't smell Roach Kill, so they don't avoid it. They walk right through the Roach Kill powder, which clings to their legs, and carry it back to their hidden nests within the walls. There it kills the whole colony. Roach Kill is so incredibly effective, it has a double your money back guarantee. Roach Kill is guaranteed to kill every last roach in your house. If it doesn't, simply return it and we'll send you double your money back. Pick up your phone and call right now. Get extra bottles for garages and basements. Most orders are shipped in 24 hours.
Order within 24 hours and you get a free mystery gift. Call toll-free 1-800-257-1234 for Visa, MasterCard, or COD orders. That's 1-800-257-1234. Or mail $9.95 plus $3 shipping and handling. Remember, 1-800-257-1234. Don't wait. This offer may end at any time, so order within 24 hours.
You can join the Braves Beach Club with a Braves Clubhouse Collection catalog. To order your catalog, send your name, address, and $1 to Braves Catalog, P.O. Box 4006, Atlanta, Georgia, 30302.
Youngblood stays in the game to play right field, and Dale Murphy, who is 1 for 2 with a walk, will lead off the ninth. The Braves are down 2-0 here. Dave Winfield hit another homer. John Candelaria got the win as the Yankees beat Toronto today 3-1. Play has resumed. They go to the ninth inning in Chicago. The Angels on top 14-11. Boston beat Milwaukee 3-2. Dodgers lost to Houston 14-6. Houston now 3.5 out. Minnesota beat Cleveland 4-2. A game shortened to 7 innings due to rain. It was Winfield's 20th homer today. Jesse Barfield hit number 9 for Toronto. The pitch to Murphy. Pop foul back out of play.
We were speaking earlier about Mailer and the possibility that Rick was showcasing himself for some of these clubs that would need pitching down the stretch, and as the races get closer, and it seems since the All-Star break, races in all divisions have gotten closer, that might have upped his ante a little bit. Today's performance, that is.
0-2 to Murphy. Fouled the fastball back. Lefferts and Garrelts in the bullpen again. Assenmacher went a third of an inning, 2 hits, a walk, intentional, and a run. Baber 2/3 of an inning perfectly. Giants going for their second consecutive complete game win against Atlanta. Still 0-2. Giants would have 13 complete games for the year if he gets it here today. 2 of them against the Braves back-to-back. It would be the 10th time the Braves had been shut out. Andres Thomas waits on deck. A ball and 2 strikes.
That shutout ratio could be a little misleading because the Giants have been shut out 9 times.
Braves pitchers have shut out the opponents twice. Giant pitchers 8 times.
Oh.
Yeah. There's a drive, but it's hooking foul. He really ripped that ball. That's 126 pitches for Kelly Downs. Just did stay alive on the split finger.
He went down and fouled off a good split finger.
Peter Smith, Herman Jimenez tomorrow for the Braves, Terry Mulholland and Don Robinson for the Giants. We'll have it for you at 3 o'clock Eastern time. One and 2 to Murph. Braves just down 2-0, but Downs has been so dominant. Need a base runner to have a chance. Low, 2 balls, 2 strikes. This is Downs' 22nd start. He has 5 complete games. The Braves had their best shot to this point in the first inning. Couldn't close the deal. Just missed high and inside. He's run it full, 3 and 2.
Well, it's a little tough sometimes when you make your living downstairs with a split finger. Sometimes you throw a pitch high in the strike zone, and even if it's close or borderline, you don't get the call because the umpire's sights are so tuned to the pitch at the knees.
Payoff. He's on there. So the tying run comes to the plate. Fourth walk for Kelly Downs. He has 5 strikeouts. Andres Thomas is the batter. He's 0 for 3 and 0 for his last 16, so he's due. Today he has bounced out twice, struck out once. Boy, now that extra run really becomes huge in this game. Giants manager Roger Craig looks on. Murphy a short lead at first. The balk is called. Murphy's at second.
And I think Downs knew it. Possibly wanting to hurry up and see what kind of conclusion this game would bring. Although when you look from that angle, it doesn't appear. Yeah. It didn't surprise me seeing it from our vantage point.
You know what I don't understand, and I'm not even faulting. I think what they're doing is very harmful to baseball. I think they made a mockery out of this whole thing. But here's a spot where the runner's not going to be running. You're down 2-0. You're just going out looking for something for no reason than to call attention to the umpires or to the fact that they're enforcing this rule that is unenforceable because it is written so vaguely. It's very strange. Well, it's good for the Braves, but not good for baseball. Oh, and 1 to Andres Thomas. The Braves have not had a runner as far as second base since the first inning. Up the middle, through, and a run will score. And now the go-ahead run comes to the plate. Thomas ends the drought and drives in his 49th run of the year. And now Roger Craig has a decision to make. He has a couple of guys in the bullpen, and the Braves are back in the game.
Andres Thomas, one of the clutchest Braves with runners in scoring position, hitting over 326 now. As you see Thompson giving the great effort.
Craig is on his way, and that will probably be all for Downs. So the shutout is gone. It's now a 1-run ball game, and the Braves very much back in it. Runner at first, nobody out. He's going to go to the left-hander. Downs gets a well-deserved hand as he leaves. And Lefferts comes charging in like a house of fire, as he always does. Charges in like a man possessed. We'll be back right after this.
This relief break is brought to you by Pepto-Bismol, because the pitcher isn't the only one at this ball game who needs some relief.
Were you surprised?
Surprised to turn 40?
I meant the party. The pizza.
The heartburn.
Mm-hmm. You know what they say about anchovies at your age.
Anchovies don't get to be my age. Do we have any Pepto?
Mm-hmm.
Here comes the soothing relief of Pepto-Bismol. The one that coats is the only one you need.
Feeling better?
Like a kid again.
When it comes to pitching, you can never be satisfied with your performance. You have to feel you can do even better, to be the best there is. And when it comes to sports weeklies, the best there is for my money is the sporting news.
Call 1-800-257-1234 and get 55 issues of the Sporting News for 4 payments of just $7.50. Call now, 1-800-257-1234.
Lefferts will face Lonnie Smith, who will pinch hit for Deion James here. Downs went 8+, 6 hits, 5 strikeouts, 4 walks. So Lonnie bats with a tying run at first and nobody out. It'll be interesting to see how the Braves play it here. They have the lower end of the batting order coming up. I imagine Lonnie will be hacking away, but we'll wait and see. Right-hand hitters on the bench include Ozzie Virgil, Paul Runge, and Jim Morrison. So Lonnie stands in with a runner at first, nobody out.
And
a .289 career major league hitter.
Excuse me, and I started to say Ann Garrelt still warming in the pen, but the Braves loaded with right-handed hitters off the bench.
Good cut at a curveball, didn't get it. 0-1.
Wouldn't be surprised to see Garrelts come on after this hitter.
It's Smith, Benedict, and Blocker due. The 0-1. Looked like he turned it over, missed outside, a ball and a strike.
Our research staff, led by Hal Galima, tells us that right-handed hitters hitting only .219 against Lefferts. So there's a reason he has 6 saves.
The 1-1. Right off the end of the bat, right down the first base line, but it finally tails off foul. It's 1-2. The outfield plays Lonnie a little bit to pull. He is not a home run hitter, but he does have home run power every now and then. Another balk would serve quite nicely here, get that tying run into scoring position. Just missed with a screwgee. Smith laid off. Count evens, 2-2. Well, the first NFL preseason game was played today. I don't know who won, and I don't think I care. The Rams and Cincinnati, I think.
Was that the one in England?
No, that's tomorrow. Way out in front of the curveball, hit it foul. 2-2. That's Miami and San Francisco from Wembley Stadium. The 2-2 to Lonnie Smith. He got it. Tried to stop his swing, could not. It was a strike anyway, I think. There's the first out of the ninth.
Melvin had been throwing him that hard curveball inside. You saw Melvin slide inside with the target and then switched up on him through the fastball. And you see Lonnie try to stop his bat as he was going through the strike zone, but unable, of course, at that particular point in the swing to do so.
Now Jim Morrison will be announced to pinch hit for Benedict, and then we'll see if Roger Craig is going to make a move. Apparently not, for Morrison has now been announced. That good stat Hal came up with is what keeps Lefferts in the game here, is good luck against right-hand hitters. And that screwball is a big part of it. Morrison has shown a happy faculty for driving in runs since joining the Braves. He stands in there now, runner at first. That's the tying run, 1 out. Just missed low, 1 ball, no strikes. Looked like a pretty good pitch from up here. Boy, he had a good cut, but he fouled it back, and it's 1-1. Braves trying to avoid going 32 games under 500. I hate to bring this up, but we're almost getting to the point where you're as many games under 500 as you've won. That'd be 32 under 500. They've won 35. There's the screwball.
And then he has that hard slider, a curveball, or whatever that pitch that dives into the right-hander, so he can keep you off the plate in two different spots. The hard curveball inside, the screwball that he turns over on the outside part of the plate.
1-2 to Jim Morrison. Double play ball. Oh, he double clutched, still got the double play at first. Mr. Lefferts came in and did a whale of a job. 1 hit, 1 run, no errors, none left. Giants are now 7-1 against the Braves on the year, and we'll be back with the totals right after this.
Suddenly, a surprising development. The new Mitsubishi Mirage. You can tell your friends it has fuel-injected power. You can tell your colleagues it's priced less than Corolla, Civic, or Sentra. You can tell your family it has more room than all three. But the best news about Mirage is no other sedan this practical ever had this much style. The 1989 Mirage.
Mitsubishi, suddenly the obvious choice.
If it had a mind, you could reason with it. If it had a face, you could look it in the eye. If it had a body, you could shoot it. Everything you know about terror is about to go down the drain. The Blob, Terror Has No Shape, rated R. Starts Friday at a theater near you.
For many years, they've carried our beer. A special breed. Delivering a special brand. Today, the Clydesdales also carry a message. One of consistency, care, of natural ingredients and exclusive beechwood aging, which give Budweiser that distinctively clean, crisp taste. The Clydesdales. Today, they carry our message of quality.
Giants win 2-1. Billy has the total.
For the Giants in win number 54, 2 runs, 8 hits, 1 error. They left 7. The Braves, 1 run, 6 hits, no errors. They left 7 also. The winner, Kelly Downs, he's now 11-8. The losing pitcher, a hard luck loser today, Rick Mailer, he's now 8-10. Kevin Mitchell with the game-winning RBI, his 10th. Craig Lefferts, the save, is 7th. It took 2 hours and 48 minutes to play the game before a crowd of 42,751.
36,289 of whom had paid. Doubleheader tomorrow. It starts at 3 o'clock Eastern time. On the mound will be Peter Smith, Herman Jimenez for the Braves, Terry Mulholland, and Don Robinson will pitch for the Giants. The Braves have lost 8 of their last 11. They've lost 3 in a row, 4 in a row. It's 4 in a row, and they'll try to get straight tomorrow in a double dip against the Giants. We'll have both games for you on TBS. Wrestling is next, then a movie, Operation Burma, on TBS. You have a pleasant Saturday evening. For Billy Sample, Pete Van Wieren, the vacationing Ernie Johnson, and our entire TBS crew, Skip Carey from Candlestick. So long, everybody.